Okay, so I'll just share my other screen and let's get started. So first of all, thanks for joining in, and I'll just walk you through the agenda. And let me bring in the agenda over here and check this out. So what we are doing is we are discussing about the data factory and the how to create the CI/CD pipeline for data factory. So the configuration will be slightly longer. So what we will do, we will first understand the problem statement in the whiteboard. I'll give you some of the reading links also for the best practices. We'll go through the best practices as well. And then finally, once we have understood what we are trying to do, in the first 20 to let's say 25 minutes, then we will jump into the configuration. So because the configuration takes a long time, so to complete the entire architecture I'll show you, it will take us around 5-6 hours. So what we'll do is we'll cover all the elements of it, which you can keep on repeating for completing the entire architecture. So there are so many configuration which needs to be done, like you have to take some key from somewhere, you have to put it somewhere, you have to link it somewhere, and so on and so forth. We'll see what that means. Now I have a summary of the details over here as such. So I don't have any setup with me, and that just reminds me that I have to run something. So just give me a second, I'll explain what I have to run, but these scripts actually take some time to run. So I'll just execute them, then I'll just tell you what I just did over there. And I'll provide you with these scripts and so on and so forth. But let me just see if they are running now. Okay, so now we will set up, we'll create one data factory. We'll set up the Azure DevOps repo for it. We'll understand the branching strategy. There is a recent change in the branching strategy. We'll see what that change is, where we you can say automate the publish to the data to the Azure repos. So we'll see that. We'll see how to do the secret management, what's the meaning of it, and how do we do it. How do we use the variables in the variable group in the DevOps pipeline to do that? How do we basically, what are the Erm templates? Why are we discussing them in the data factory logic? What is data factory also, if in case you're new to it? Uh, we will create multiple environments. We'll design a pipeline. We will do the Key Vault integration, and I'll show you the significance of the global parameters as well. Now, before I get started, my name is Shivam Sharma, and I co-founded Tech Scalable, and we do regular sessions as such. And in case you have been, if you have joined me on LinkedIn, you may have seen our previous sessions as well. So I'll just paste the YouTube channel link in the chat window. So those who have just joined, you can find the YouTube link. We are recording the session. Recording will go on the YouTube, right? And you can, in case you have any questions, you can put the questions in the chat window. I'll take your questions on the way. And in case there are some questions which I have skipped, I'll respond to them as well, maybe at the end of the session. And if there is anything follow up, any follow up question, you can always ask me on the LinkedIn platform. I will respond to you in few minutes to few hours. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Now, very first thing is a lot of configuration is coming up. So now to get everybody on the same page and to understand what we are doing, I'll spend some time in the whiteboard. I'll explain what we are doing over there. Let me just double check the script I executed. Let me see if it's throwing any error. No, that's great. I also have a backup ready with me. Let me just show that. So in case some configuration goes somewhere, I'll just show this. I'll go back to the backup as such. Things go wrong. Things go pretty wrong. I have experience in that. So now check this out. So what we are trying to achieve is, or what is, and if you're new to the data factory also, then this session is also useful for you. I'll explain the basics as well, but I'll explain it practically. I'll just show it to you, and I'll explain it in the whiteboard as well before that. So this is what we are trying to achieve. We will have different data factory. So data factory is an ETL or ELT service by which you can move your data around, you can transform your data. We do pretty complicated stuff with data factory. And so it's very similar to, it is the cloud brother of SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services, if you have worked with that. And it is it also is similar to Uzi, Apache Uzi. So this is my data factory. So we will have three data factories as such. So we'll call them as dev, data factory dev. And in this dev data factory, we'll copy the data from one place to another place. That one place can be on-premise, can be in the cloud, can be some SaaS solution also. So there are a lot of integration possible now. So the purpose or what we are trying to achieve is, and I'll also show you how to do it securely, like what is how to use the linked services, the private endpoint concept by which we secure the network in production. So we'll use that method. It will add few extra step to the configuration. But however, I think that if I explain it properly in the whiteboard, we all will be able to catch up on the on the configuration. So what the script which I have executed a few minutes back, what that is doing, it's just creating the vanilla architecture for us. It's not doing any configuration. It's just setting up the infra. Now we can also have Erm templates to do that. I have one CLI script over there. I have combined PowerShell and CLI both, and it is running right now. So what it is doing, it is creating three data factories for us, and it is creating source and sink locations for us. Now, the recording will go in the on the YouTube channel. The link is in the chat window. So after the session, I'll just upload it there. Okay, now check this first. So now this is three solutions like that, and these three will be created. You can say three times. We have three environments. So I have this storage account. So storage account will become our source. Now storage account is an object storage, and we'll create one container there. As such, container is just a collection of blobs. So this is the container, and we'll name it something, whatever you guys want, you can name it. I'll just call it as source, and then I will upload some data there. And this can be anything. Object storage, storage account is an object storage. So it basically store any amount, any you can say 500 terabytes of data, but any type of data, file format doesn't matter. So we'll upload one file there, and this is what we are. This is our source. You can say this is our data for the purpose of setting up everything. Because a lot of time, what you will see that what we have to do is we may configure something, then we may come back and we may put some parameters there. So sometimes you have to go one step ahead, and then you can say two steps ahead, and then you have to come back and you have to just plug the holes over there. So a lot of these type of things we'll do. Uh, you can say configure, then come back, put the parameterize it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so one dev data factory, one storage account, and one S. Basically, let's make it like a database. So one database as such, and this database is going to be Azure SQL. Now, in case you are aware of the various source and sink locations of data factory, otherwise I'll show it to you a few of them on the way. So this is going to be Azure SQL. The database and the logical server is coming up. Logical server is just a wrapper. I executed this script just to for those who joined in just now. I have executed one script over here, uh, and that's what I'm just explaining what that script is doing. And it is creating one wrapper here and one database inside that. Table I haven't created yet. Table I will create it in front of you. No reason. We could have done it with the script also, but I'm not sure how much time the demo will take. So we'll see. So some work I have left over here. So table we'll create. We don't have any sync table. Now the configuration of the data factory is not very complicated. We'll keep it simple. Uh, we have done many complicated, you can say, data movement pipelines before as well. So in case somebody's interested, you can definitely check out our previous recordings and sessions, or find me on LinkedIn. I'll share you previous links. So we will create one data factory. We'll drop one copy activity there. So data factory basically moves data around. It can do ETL or ELT type of workload. It's a batch processing service. It works in batch mode. So we'll have this. We have activities there. So these activities they do everything what you design. The activities are the ones which do the heavy lifting for you. So we'll drop one simple copy activity there, and then we will be you can say creating some connection configuration. So what we want to do is we want to parameterize everything as such. So this connection configuration is called as linked service over here. So we'll create this linked service over here, and then we will create few data sets. So data sets is metadata. It doesn't have data, it just represent data. like file name, folder names, path, and so on and so forth, table name. So it should be parameterized. We will see how much can we do, because everything will take time. Like if you parameterize each and every element, it will take a very long time. So the overall, you can say, architecture which I'm showing you will take you 4 or 5 hours to deploy. However, we'll see how much can we cover. So we'll create two data sets over here. This is one source and one sync data set. This just is having metadata. There is no data over there. It represents metadata, and will configure two of them, one for the source and the sync. Now, just for those who are new, or let me just zoom out and copy this. So this environment, we are doing it 3 times. Like this is the dev environment. Then we'll have the UAT. So let me just move it here. And then we'll have the third environment as well, the production environment. So something like this. So like this. So the script is doing creating the three environments for me. And we can do it from the UI. It just creates, you can say it will take just one more extra hour to configure everything from the UI also. So, but that's not what I had in mind for the day. So this is for UAT, and then this is for production, like that. So this goes over here, production. So like that. So 3 data factories in 3 resource groups. Everything is coming up. Now, what we are trying to achieve is, let me just go back to the first one over here. So just for your information, those who are new to the data factory. So when we do something, right, when we execute any step in this ETL service, there are resources which are consumed. So those resources are called as integration runtime. Now, if you are aware, or maybe you're not aware, there is a new cloud integration runtime is available now, which is also protected by the network. So this was something which was missing, but now we have it. So today we'll use the new one. We'll see what it is. It's few tick marks are there, but however, we'll use the cloud IR with the managed endpoint concept. So you see these servers. This is called as integration runtime. Integration runtime. So we pay for it, and because it's hosted by Azure Cloud, it's called as Azure Integration Runtime, like that. So when you execute the data factory, so basically this integration runtime does this. So this is the one which really does the heavy lifting for us. Let me just use the same color. Just give me a second. So what it will do is it will pull that file from there, and it's the one which will do the load operation. So like this. So this is extract and load. The transform is not there. That's not in this diagram right now. So this is the E and the L part. Can we do transform? Obviously, we can do transforms also. So this is extract and the load operation, like that. So what we are trying to do is we'll try the new concept. So in the new concept, the integration runtime is now protected by the private endpoint concept. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just show you. I'll give you one link in the. I'll show you how to do it. But in case somebody wants to read further, I'll show you this concept. So we have this private links and the private endpoint. So there is one problem with the PaaS solutions. PaaS solutions are not inside the network; they are outside the network. So to bring them inside the network or to apply the network on top of it, we have the private endpoint and the private link concept in Azure, by which we are able to, you can say, enforce the network on top of it and the network security groups on top of it, the firewalls and so on and so forth. So this is what we are trying. So I'll just give this link in the chat in case you want to read more about it. Otherwise, I'll just show it to you how it's done. So you will see that we'll create a type of connection like this. So the integration runtime is the only thing which will be able to communicate with these sources. So in the starting, I will whitelist my IP address so I can actually access it. But technically, once we have done the configuration, these are isolated. Like there is nobody who can. These are sort of air gap. We can say isolated in a sense. You cannot go in. The public access is not there. You have to white. There is no. You can say the entire internet is blocked over there. So in the starting, I won't do that. Otherwise, I won't be able to configure. So I'll just keep myself whitelisted there. However, once we have done the you can say the private endpoint concept, this is private endpoint. It will be isolated endpoint over here. So let me just see if the script has executed. I'll start deploying it. Otherwise, I'll just explain a little more. So let's see what it's doing. Okay, still running. Now, the purpose, or so this is one part of the setup. There is nothing complicated here. This is simply you can say very 101 data factory. But what we are trying to see is how can we deploy this whatever we have in the dev environment in the UAT, and then how can we put that in the production environment. That's what we are trying to achieve. So a couple of things will come into picture. See, let me see if where can I put the key vaults. So we'll have the key vaults. So we are creating 3 key vaults. Uh, so this is one Azure Key Vault. Now Azure Key Vault is it's a service where we keep the secrets and the passwords and the connection strings and the certificates and everything. So this Azure Key Vault is also having a best practice. I'll show the best practice to you, and we will stick with the best practice, but we'll say the best practices are too many. So I don't want you to sit with me for the entire day. So I'll give you these links in the chat. However, I'll just walk you through what we'll try to do. So some of the best practice which we have is that to reduce the blast radius in case of a security event, we try to, you can say it's a very logical thing. If you can have, so what they say is that you should have multiple key vault for each and every environment in multi and region and in the and different key vaults for different regions also. So in case there is a breach, then it will be you can say uh, controlled in a controlled manner, or the blast radius of that breach will not be affecting the other key vaults, or we at least have some more layer of security. So we will also create 3 key vaults over there. And there are other best practices what to do, right? So what we'll do is we'll also create 3 key vaults, one for each environment. And and then, so one for this, one for that. Just let me put it here. And let me just move it to the top. One here and one more for the production. So a lot of repetitive tasks will be there, right? So I'll show you the interesting parts, and the repetition will be there, right? So I'll explain it why I'm saying that. So we will add. So what we are trying to achieve is that any type of secret, any type of see, ideally, what should happen is everything should be parameterized. You should so we have the server names over here. So this server name, the database name, the table name, the file name, the storage account name, the container name, and so on and so forth. So everything which can be, so we can reuse the code, we can parameterize it, we can give the values at the runtime. So that's what I will show you. How can that be achieved? So the parameters will be here. So these will be the dev parameters, right? And then for the UAT, the parameters will are different over here. So let's use this color to represent the dev. So these are the UAT parameters over here. Now these parameters which we are talking about, these secrets, I should just say secrets. Let's just remove the word parameter. It's just a secret we are trying to put there. So these secrets are for the different environment. So technically what we want to do is that when we are deploying from one environment to another environment, we also want the secrets to inject in the because the connections are created for the for the dev environment. So when things will go into the UAT and the prod, then these connection strings will not work technically. So there are a lot of configuration which needs to be done for it. But what we want to do is that this green thing should be injected there uh, when we deploy. So and how are we deploying? We'll use Azure DevOps to deploy it. Now, so we will go to the. I'll just explain it like in just next 5 minutes. Then I'll show you the hands-on as well after that, and then we'll come back to this whiteboard uh, regularly to understand till what point we have done it right. So we will create one repository in Azure DevOps, and we will name the repository. There is nothing which I have right now. It's totally empty. I'll just call it name. It's my main branch. This is my main. Then we will create one developer branch. We'll name it something. So we'll call it as feature. Let's say feature one or something. And then there is another concept called as ADF publish branch. I'll explain what's the meaning of it. So there is another one called as ADF publish like this. So the meaning is like this, that whenever we work in the feature branch, we are working here like this, right? So the concept is that when we publish the code, so let me see if I can make a straight line. So when we publish the code over here, or the configuration, or the data factory, you can say configuration which you have done. So when you publish, right, so everything converts into templates as such. Template and the YAML files are there. So the publish always happens in the ADF publish branch like that. Not always. I'll show you the exception also. The new concept which Microsoft has introduced. I'll explain that as well. I'll give you some links for that. But it's recently introduced. I am not sure how many people have already implemented it. Maybe 4 or 5 months back. I don't know the exact date of the new concept. I'll show you what I mean. So these are the ARM templates. Now, what we want to do is that when these ARM templates should be you can say uh, should be deployed here in the UAT, and then let's say over there, let's find the other one, and it's here, and we'll have some human intervention. So this guy will be there. Some we'll just give some email ID. So let's say there is somebody to approve. So I will let's say approve over there, and then the deployment can happen to the production one as well if there is some approval over there. And when this is happening, when that those ARM templates, you see these ARM templates over here. When these ARM templates are deploying, what we want is we want the parameters to inject. Like parameters should come. These secrets should come from here. So these are the secrets, and then these are the secrets over here. So let's use the different color. So this is what we are trying to do, right over here. So this is the secret. I'll repeat it, and then we'll have to do it. So if there is any question in this part, you can right away ask. So so we have a basic ADF setup. We are trying the new concept of private endpoint. We'll see that the with Azure IR right over there. We'll try this. Uh, that's something, and we'll have the key vaults with us. We have this development pipeline over here, and right, I'll explain this. So what we're trying to do is, I'll just start showing it now. Is that we'll have this data factory. We'll create the data factory. The data factory, the wrapper, the empty data factory, my script already created. I have to do all this. The one which I'm coloring right now. We'll drop one copy activity. We'll create few metadata data sets over there. They don't have data. They just represent they don't have data. They represent, you can say, they point to the data, and we give metadata. They are table name, and so for example here we give table names, we give the file names, we give the format of the file, is the first row header or not, all the metadata. So then and then hypothetically when we execute it, right, like one day we'll execute it also. So when we execute it, there is a concept called as integration runtime. These are the resources which are consumed when the execution happens. So if you practically think it through, the extract operation is done by the integration runtime. We pay for it also, like how much, for how long is it running, how many steps are there, do you need a Spark integration runtime, or do you need normal normal integration runtime as such, non-Spark. So the extract operation happens and the load operation happens in this way. So we'll do it. That's not a very big deal. But what we actually do in production is we don't leave anything outside network. So what we are doing is I'll show you the private endpoint concept as well. So it does not go outside network. It will increase our configuration. We'll get into more troubles as such. But uh, if somebody will watch this video later on, maybe it will be helpful. So then the parameters will create some secrets in the key vault. So this key vault is a service in Azure. I'll just Google for. I'll show you what this means. It's HSM, hardware security module. So if I just Google for it and I show you, this is what it looks like, and I'll just drop the image. So when we go for the premium key vault, it's based on this HSM concept, like it's a secure vault. So the secrets and the certificates and everything is secured with the help of the key encryption keys, which goes over there like that. So Key Vault is a secure vault where we keep all the secrets. Now, what we want to do is we want to go to Azure DevOps, and in Azure DevOps we want to make a repository. and in the repository we'll create a the main branch, and inside that we'll create one developer branch. We'll call it something, whatever name comes to mind, you can use it. And then this name, we keep it, this is a standard ADF publish. So it's a branch where when we publish the configuration, it goes in the ADF publish as such. So the everything converts into ARM templates. So what we are trying to do is we will create one release over there, and the release will be having two stages over there. So when those ARM templates they deploy here, we want to inject the you can say the configuration which is like this, like the linked services over here. So what are linked services? These are connection configuration, like connection strings, passwords, username, password, secrets, like that. So this is linked service secrets. So those secrets are in the vault over here. So we have to inject those secrets in the when the template. It's a parameterized template. I'll just show this to you. That we will create a variable group. We'll see what that means. But we will inject these secrets for various environments during the template deployment. Uh, this is what we are trying to do. Uh, this is the overall the demo which I'll explain, right? So if this is clear, let me know as well. If you have any questions in this part, then also let me know. I'll go through this again. And in the meantime, I'll just go check if this script is still running. Okay, let it run then. And any questions which comes to mind here? Okay, now Microsoft, I'll show you the best practices of the CI/CD pipelines as well. So which we have on this page. I kept it open for you, and the link is going in the chat window. So there is a lot of there is a lot to read on this page. You can go ahead and read it. I'll just go to the best practices on the bottom of the page over here. So the Git integration, there are pre and post deployment scripts are there. We'll see what they are. We so integration, runtime, and sharing. So basically, so one of the points which it says here is that you can use the same names in all the locations. So what happens when you use the same name? Then the when the then your efforts are reduced because the names are same in different environments. So this will still be okay. It reduces the efforts. You don't have to keep on parameterizing things if you use the same name in your different environments as such. Like table names are same, source file name is same, or source path is same. File can be different. Source path is same. So you are reading from the same source folder to the sync folder over there. So if you keep the name same, then things are more manageable. Managed endpoints, we'll just see what that means. It's a private connection. So what it does, it basically brings everything inside the network. Key Vault integration, we'll see. Resource naming is like don't give spaces. It's better to give underscore or give a hyphen. Don't give spaces as such, because it might be you can say when different environments are there, when the execution happens in Azure DevOps, there are different agents which are used. So it's possible that if you give space, it may not, I can say, get injected properly over there. So don't give spaces. Use the feature flags. Feature flags, for example, use different environment variables for different environments as such. And these environment like production environment variable and some QA and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is best practice. It's in the chat window. There is a very big question in the chat. Let me read that once. If 10 people are in the project, who would still need to use the pipeline? How to restrict the key vault and secrets, but still give the pipeline environment access to all 10? Restrict the user access and still, there are many things. We will configure a lot of things. I think your question should get answered automatically. If it doesn't get answered, ask again. We'll have access policies. We have a lot of things as such. You just need to. There is nobody who needs to have the access of the secret. Uh, they just need to know the key, not the value. So like what to use in the configuration. Okay, now there is one more thing, guys. If I go to the bottom of the page, I'll show you something new which has been added. If I click over here, Now, what you will see is that there is one step which we'll be doing. I'll point that step again. It's called as publish step, which has to be manually done. So as an improvement on top of it, what Microsoft has done, they have automated that publish step also. So the publish step means this step, the one where we are publishing. Uh, I'll show it this. We have to create one pull request, and then we basically have to publish to the main branch. So that was a manual step which was supposed to be done by the developer to publish, uh, but now that has been further automated. So that automation steps are still there. There are some limitations in the automation steps, like what it can do, export Erm templates and validate and so on and so forth. So it's still under, you can say, development, I think. But the manual thing which we will be doing, that manual thing can also be worked around with the new steps. So this is another, some improvements are there, and this goes in the chat. Let's get started, right? Let's just get started. So I'll just keep the diagram here. So I have to do this basic configuration first. I have to do this. This integration runtime, this table is not there. We have to upload the data over in the source, and we have to make this red color link service, this link service. Key Vault has a lot of configurations to be done. So we'll keep on coming back to this diagram, and we will keep on updating the diagram over here. So I'll take you to my data factory. What I have done is I have basically kept multiple pages open here. Let me find the, so let me just zoom in for everyone. And the data factory is pretty visible. Let me just open it once. So I'll open, things are still getting deployed. So whatever we have with us in this point, we'll continue with that. And other things I think is still coming up. So SQL and all that is still going on. And it seems to be taking slight more time than usual. So that's okay. So this is a dev data factory. Let's launch it here. This is one. Let's go to the source storage account. Let's find. So what I have done is I have named it like that, like dev over here. So I'll show you my script also. So I have, so basically what I have is a unique suffix over here. So I have this unique suffix. So this can be also, this supposed to be pushed in the key vault. So when the infrastructure as code templates are running, they can pull the unique suffix from the key vault. It's not right now in the key vault. It's only here right now. So but it should be in the, all these should be in the key vaults. We will push these in the key vault in some time manually, but there are many parameters. So it's a lot of repetitive task is there. So I'll explain you 2-3 times how it's done. Then you can do it for all of them, right? Okay, so basically not much to show here. It's we are creating 3 resource groups here. Then we are creating 3 data factories over here uh, in these 3 commands over here. Then we are creating we are creating 3 storage accounts now over here. So this is one storage account, second storage account, third storage account over there. These are simple commands. You can simply Google for them, how to create data factory with CLI. You can. So what I generally do is I use PowerShell and CLI both. So we create PowerShell, you can say, files, and then inside the PowerShell files we use CLI. CLI is compatible with it. Uh, so do it in that way. So you can use the all the commands which you can. And just to provide some uniqueness, I have used the date over here, which will add the current date in the names, because some of the names cannot be taken again, storage account and all that. It's globally unique. So that is being done here. And then 3 SQL servers are getting created. These are just logical. It's a PaaS solution. Logical wrapper is there. And inside these 3 SQL, 3 databases are supposed to come up over here. That's what is running right now. And then 3 key vaults are coming up, like the way we have understood in the diagram. 3 key vaults are coming up there, and we can go to the cloud and we can just zoom out once and see that we have 3 storage accounts already ready. Data factory is ready. Key vault and the databases are coming up. It seems they will take some more time. So by the time we configure, hopefully they will be there. Otherwise, we may have to, you can say, improvise somewhere. Okay, so I'll go to my data factory, this one. This is open here. I'll set up the code repository in the meantime. There is nothing else to do. The key vault is not ready. So I'll set up the code repository, and let me. This is Azure DevOps over here. So Azure DevOps is open. You can open it on dev.azure.com. If you have Azure subscription, you can simply log in with any organizational account. Organizational account is the Active Directory account. So what I have done, I have in my Active Directory, I've created one user over here, Shivam user. This is my organizational user. This is my guest user. Guest the office. This is the Outlook user, Outlook.com user. So this user doesn't have rights anymore. Earlier we were able to do the configuration in the DevOps portal, but now there are some strict policies are there which can be changed, but those are good as such that guest users cannot be used in the configurations, or can be used in some of the configurations only now. So I have just made one organizational user, normal user in the AD, nothing else, and given this user some rights. And with that user, I have logged in the dev.azure.com. This is my backup in case things go wrong. Then I'll just click on the organizational setting. See, when you execute any DevOps pipeline, you basically require some location to run it on. Like it can be Windows or Linux environments as such. We have various names for them. Sometimes we call them runners. Some in DevOps we call them, in Azure DevOps we call them agents as such. So we have to pay for the agent. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting my Azure subscription with the DevOps portal. So whenever any execution happens, it happens in my subscription. So I have to pay for it, sort of. Or in this demo example over here. So this is what I'm doing. That's the setup, the billing part. If I don't do this, it will throw me error when I will try to run the pipeline later on. After half an hour or 1 hour, it will throw me errors at that time that you don't have you don't have the you haven't done this, sort of. Who will pay for it, sort of. Okay, so I'm back. I'll just click on new project. So this is my ADF Cicd1. Let's name it as 1. 2 is already there. So this okay. So this is what I'm connecting this with over here, Data Factory. So you set up the code repository. You can set up from the Manage tab also, this one. But earlier, many years back, it was only possible like this. So I still remember the old ways around. This Manage tab is also there. So I'll just click on the repository. Now, sometime what happens, it doesn't log you in. You can refresh the page a couple of times, but I think it's okay right now. So this is my project, the ADF CICD1, which I just created. And the repository name will be default over there. Some repository name is the same name as the project name, default one. I'll use the same thing. Now I have to give the collaboration branch. Now I don't have any repository. The collaboration branch is this branch over here. The main branch over here, this one. In terms of Data Factory, the main branch becomes the collaboration branch. So I have to specify it as such. So there is nothing right now. So I'll make it from scratch. Now the publish branch is this. It's a very standard to use this name, ADF underscore publish. We'll see what we do with it. But first I'll just configure it. So I'll say okay. Let me just see if everything is filled up. Okay. Now, so this is how you set up the repository. This is how you set up Data Factory with your DevOps portal. Now, if I click on this option, you will see it's showing on the top. Let me zoom in. You see this main branch. So we don't work in the main branch. We are working so as a developer, you will be working in some development branch. So that's what we are creating right now. And I'll just zoom out slightly for me. And let me see. Okay, so we'll call it as feature 1 or feature. And let's make this. So whatever you do here, it will, okay, it got changed. So whatever we will do here, it basically shows in the repository here. It's happening in the repository right now here in the DevOps portal. You see main and feature. So they are coming up, and some basic configuration is there right now. Most probably, most of these files will be having some information or maybe empty right now. So I'll just create one pipeline. Okay, before I can create the pipeline, you see this. So we have a lot of configuration to do. I'll just scroll down. So I just created this main, feature, and ADF publish over there, which was a default name. Now I'm coming back here. I'll create this blue color integration runtime, and we will enable the private endpoint concept there. This one, the the secure concept here. Then what we have to do is we have to make all three talk to it, or we have to securely make all three connect to it. So you will see that we have to do a couple of things like this, uh, as such in this way. So this is the called as private endpoint, the pink part which we are trying to represent here. This is called as private endpoint. So why we are doing this is because the past solutions are outside network. In production, we use this option to make sure everybody is inside the network over there, or we enforce the network on top of it. You have to do it. There is, you can say. Otherwise, past solutions are outside the network. It's not secure. It's not acceptable. Also, you won't be doing it. So let's find if that script will finally finish running or not, because I just have to use what it's doing. And no, it says a big no there. So let's carry on for now. Okay, so I'm going to this manage option over here. So this is what I'm doing. Creating this, and we'll create this and that, right? Let's see. So the integration runtimes over here, like this, new Azure hosted. It's not on-prem self-hosted. This is for those who know what I'm talking about, self-hosted IR. This is not that. A new feature has been there. Like we can go with Azure, and now it is on this virtual network tab, you can enable the network configuration. So a lot of customers were saying that if I'm using the cloud, then why do I have to make my own virtual machine where the execution happens, which makes sense, like because you are responsible for the machine, you have responsible for the scaling and so on and so forth. So what they have done is the Azure hosted IR is now privately inside your network. That's what they have provided. So I'll give it some more time so it doesn't stop running before I'm completed. Okay, so let's make this. So this will come up in a couple of minutes, and I will be using this, the name which I gave. I didn't give any name. I just should have given some nice name, but that's what it is. Integration runtime 1 now. So now what I'm doing, I'm going to this private, the managed private endpoints and see how it's done. So you go here, and now you have to connect. This is a networking concept. The developers won't be doing it. You just have to know this, or if or you may have to change some parameters in your DevOps pipeline when this happens. Things will go wrong, like because network will block you. The normal data factory steps will not happen. Network will block. So uh, so this is how it's done. Like you just have to make that connection. So the ideally I should have done it to the key vault first, because I was supposed to put the secrets there. And let's see who else is ready now. And we have the data factory is coming up there. Okay, seems to be taking a lot of time. No issues. We will use what we have then. Now what I'm doing is, so databases are taking some time to run. Maybe my account is not a paid account, it's a free account. So maybe some throttling is there, no issues. So I'll just come to the storage account, what I have right now, and I'll name it something. I'll say that, okay, Azure Blob Storage. So this is a managed endpoint. So let me just private endpoint. So let me just call it like that. So I don't get confused. This is my private endpoint like that. So you have to create it, then you have to approve it over there. Can it be increased for more than? So this is a TTL, time to live. If there is nothing happening, it will automatically shut down after 120 minutes. So because I'm explaining things on the way, if I give it very less, it will shut down. So then I have to start it again, or it will start again when I will run it. So it will take more time. So no, 120 was the maximum time there. Uh, so we are using the dev storage account, and in this dev storage account, we'll just say create. So what you will get is like, so this the private endpoint will get provisioned, and then we have to approve it. So we have to go to the storage account, and somebody in the team has to approve it from the network's point of view. So as soon as this is provisioned, we will go to the storage account like that, and we'll click on the storage account, this one, and we'll go to the networking like this over here. Now currently I'm not disabling the public access. If I do that, uh, everything will be, I will also not be able to do anything because it will totally block me out. So I have not disabled it, but that's what I'm planning to do. That it should be disabled by the in the end, if we get time, we'll disable this. We'll come back and disable it. Otherwise, you guys will know that you have to disable that as well. Okay. Now, private endpoint. This is the endpoint which is saying that please approve me. I want to connect from there. So I'll say approve, and some description is there. I'll say okay. So once this is done, it basically goes from the provisioning state to here. It will show approval in a second or two over there. Now, what we will do is we will see for the resources. And okay, so what I'll do is in the meantime, the resources are coming up. I still have to do my configuration. So I'll do one thing is I'll create one more storage account in the meantime. We'll replace it with the SQL once the SQL is ready, this one. So we'll come back by the end of the session. We'll see if we get time. We'll come back here, and that is TTL, time to live. If it is idle, like if there is nothing running, then how much time it will take. It doesn't mean the overall running time. So if there is nothing running over there, then why do you want to pay for the compute, right? You want the compute to be deprovisioned. So that's what it is. Like if there is nothing running, then the cluster should automatically stop or deprovision to save the money. That's what it is. Okay. Yes, recording and all that is there. So now check this. Now I'll just make a backup storage account in the meantime to complete the configuration. We'll come back to the database once it's ready. Now, so let me go to the dev, the same dev storage account, and this is my Shivam sync storage. If that name is available, great. So done. So this I'll just modify my diagram. So for now, we are using the storage account as the sink. We'll replace it once the real sink is ready. So the same concept, we'll make a linked service, and we will you can say make the private connection to the storage account over there. So this is taking some time to create, so we have to wait for it. So this is what we are creating right now. That should take only 30 seconds to create. Now, okay. So in the meantime, this is coming up. What I'll do is I'll go back to my the source over here. This is my source storage account. Destination is coming up. Now, in the source, I have to do a couple of things. See, my data factory does not have writes over there. So what my data factory wants to do is my data factory, when it execute, it want to come to this container called a source container. And from the source container, it want to go and read the data over there. And the data is the one which I'm now uploading, which was not uploaded. And there is nothing special in this data. I'll just show you the file. It's a simple two-liner, and it's a simple data like this. It simply have the first row is header, and there are a couple of lines over there. So so my data factory wants to come and read this file, but it will not have the rights to do that. So I'm doing, I'm going to the access control. I'll go click on the add option like this, and I'll just go to, I'll give my data factory some rights. Storage, blob, data contributor. This is one of the typical right which we give. So like this, next, and then select members. Now I have to search for my data factory. So I'm not giving it to any human being. I'm giving to the data factory. Now those who work with Azure, what I'm just doing is the system assigned managed identity, MSI. That's what I have just done. So my data factory has this MSI, system assigned. This is not user assigned. It's binded with the system. This is the one, and it shows by the default name like that. So I gave it rights over there like this. So rights given like that. So my data factory can come and read the data from the source. Now, let me go to my sink. Let me just see for the last time. No. Okay. So this is my sink, new sink now. Change in the plan in the demo. This is my new sink now. Now I'll create one container there called as sink. Let's call it as sink over here. And then this is the sink location. Now what we will do is we'll go back to data factory, and I'll just modify my diagram here slightly. So this is my sync location. And in this sync location, I want to do the private endpoint concept with the sync location. So in the same way, I'll go back to data factory, the manage endpoints, I'll say new blob storage next, and this is to the sync now. And then the sync will show here. We'll select the sync location. We'll refresh the page once. Okay, this is a sync storage account, this one over there. So I'll select that. Now this is a networking concept. I'm not making a connection configuration right now. I'm just whitelisting the network right now. I'm whitelisting so that my data factory can talk to these services privately and securely. That's what we are doing. We have to make the network configuration after that. So now in the same way, we will go to that service over there like this. You click on the networking and you come over here and it will show like that, like that the data factory is trying to make a secure connection to the sync storage account. So I'm just approving it, that okay, approved. So the network team will help you guys, the developers, to do all of this, or you should be aware of it, that's why it's not working. And right over there. Now, I'll just give the rights to this also. I would like you to see the preview and all that. So I'll give the same rights to my data factory and like this. Okay. So contributor access, we try to avoid the owner access over there, and the rights are given to the data factory. Now we have to repeat this step afterwards for UAT and production also, right? Somebody in the team has to do this. It's not going to happen on its own. Most probably the templates will do it for you, or PowerShell scripts will create all this setup for you. Otherwise, you should be aware of that. All of this needs to be done. So if I just go back to this page and maybe refresh over here. Okay, so you can see the first one is approved. The second one is still doing something. We'll let the second one do whatever it's doing. Now I'll click on the author in the meantime, and I will just continue with the setup. Actually, I don't have to run it. See the link. So what if I just show this to you? So you see this link service. So what I have done is a private connection right now. So what we are doing now is a connection configuration. Like the connection strings are going to be there, the secrets and the username, password, secrets, and so on and so forth. So we'll click on new, and we are trying to connect to both the locations, the storage accounts, both the storage accounts. So I'll just name it properly now because my scenario has changed slightly. So I'll call it as source. Sync. Just give me a second. This is source only. The source, and the integration runtime is the new one, the one which is secure. And I will, let me see. Okay, I'll just let it be. We'll come back. We should put this in the key vault. We can come back, but when the key vault is ready to put all of this information in the key vault, I'll show you what I mean by that. And this is my this is my source location. We are just testing the private connection, this one, if the connection comes or not, because it's a otherwise it would have normally if you don't have any network restriction, there is no issue in this. It's a simple tick mark. But because we are privately doing it, so that's why we're just checking if it runs or not. So yeah, that's fine. So what happens when you create the link service after Git integration, it will immediately publish that. So let me just read my configuration one more time. So in case I want to change something, because it will go and publish that in the Git repository over there. And that's my dev storage only. It looks fine. Okay. So at this step, what has happened is here, if I'll just wait for it. We'll give it some time. We will see some more, you can say, link services showing over there. Now, if somebody asks you what's a link service, it's a connection configuration. It's a connection string. So now I'm doing it one more time for my sync location. So this is my blob storage sync. I did it for the source previously. Now I want to have the private integration runtime, which I created, and I will let it be default. I'll give this, I'll give that. And this is a sync location over here. sync strg, and we'll just see if it connects or not. Recording will go in the YouTube channel. I'll give in the link in the chat as well. So let's do a quick recap of what we have done till this point. Okay, so check this. So we have created one copy activity, change of plan. There is no storage SQL now. So what we are doing is we are moving from one blob to another, which doesn't make any difference to us because we are seeing we have to check the CI/CD part of it. We don't have to check the data factory today. So the source is the left-hand side source of the data, and this is my sink of the data. So what Data Factory does is it's an ETL service. So it can do ETL, extract, transform, load, and extract, load, and transform. So right now what we are doing is we are sort of doing an extract and load operation. There is no transform in this. So we are extracting from the left-hand side and we are moving it to the right in destination over there. Source can be anywhere in the cloud. Like we can have other sources, AWS, we can have GCP sources, we can have other Azure sources as such. You can have SAP sources, we can have, we can say these SaaS solutions are also possible. So more or less, the data factory part is over. We will go to the DevOps part now. So I don't remember clicking on the test connection. Maybe I clicked on it. I'll just check it once, sync and all that. Okay, great. Now, check this out. So let's come back to this copy data. Now we have sort of done what we wanted to see, but I have to. So right now what I'm doing, this copy is this copy over here. Now the data where the source of the data and the sync location is already connected. The red things are already done. This is already it's already ready. The private connection is also done over there. Now I'm creating this source data set and sync data set over here. So the differentiation is that this is the real location. Like this is the physical location, not really physical, but it's the real location where data exists over there. These are the real locations. However, this is just a metadata. You are just describing your data. For example, the file format, the name of the table. You want to read 2016 data, or you want to read something more than that. So see what I'm doing. I'm saying that okay, I don't want to read from Amazon right today. S3 or Apache Impala or from MariaDB and Delta Lake over there, and so on and so forth. I'll just want to read from the blob storage, which is here. My file format is CSV. It's a simple comma separated file. We have other files which are supported here. So this is what. So we want to read this source data set link service we just made connection configuration. So that's the source. Is first row header? Yeah, first row is header. And what's the file? This is the file. Now file name should be parameterized, or it should be, you can say it should not be hard coded. I'm just selecting it right now. But it should also go in the key vault once your key vault is ready, right? So I'll just go and I'll click on sync and I'll say that okay, done. Storage account, next, next, next. And this is my data set. This is representing my sync location over there. Then we are just giving the connection configuration. So like that, done. And the destination location. The sync is the destination location. So my destination location right now, where I want to load the data. Okay, now we are done over here. So the next thing which we have to do is if we come back to the steps which we have done, we have the setup in the dev ready with us. There is nothing in the UAT right now. It's totally empty over there in this way, right? So what we want to do is we would like to deploy those templates which we will publish into these locations over here, into the UAT and the prod. So there is nothing here also like that in this way. And while we do the deployment, we want to inject the parameters from the key vault. That's what we want to see over there. Now I have to make another storage account for this environment also. So I'll do it later on when I reach that step. So now what I'll do is I'm creating one pull request. So I'm just you can say pull request is basically you are trying to, you can say that you want the target to pull your changes which you have done to pull your for the code review. You want the target to pull your the development which you have done. So I'm creating a pull request, and then I will approve it myself because I'm the only user right now. I'll approve it, and then I will publish my data factory configuration into this publish branch over there. So before I do that, let me just quickly check this if it validates and all that. There's not much here, but with those private endpoints, I just want to see if it runs fine. So these are debug is just debug. If you trigger it, it's the full pipeline execution. In the meantime, it's running. See, there are so many other options available for somebody who's new to all this. Uh, this is Databricks here. Spark, Apache Spark transformations can be done with it. And this is where we have the HD inside Hadoop clusters can be created there, Hive, MapReduce, and so on and so forth. So, okay. Okay, so in the meantime, it is running. What if there is any change which we need to do? We'll most probably will do it here only. So that's why I just wanted to see it getting executed once. And it's if it goes away, just go to the monitoring section. It's here in progress. Okay, so let it run then. In the meantime, what I'm doing is I'll just move ahead with it. We can always come back and troubleshoot if something goes wrong. So I'll click on this. I'll create one pull request over here. See, like this. So I want the ADF. So I'm doing a blob to blob copy now. Blob to blob copy. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just copying. You can say copy data from source object storage to the destination object storage, and over here. So that's what I'm requesting. I'll create it. And now somebody from the DevOps team has to approve it. So that's me again. So I'll approve it and I'll complete it like this. Now, there is one tick mark over here, delete feature when merging. And I would, okay, great. Doesn't matter now. So the, okay, so the merge, the pull request is completed now. So now what we do is we come back to the data factory, and this is a manual step. So this is where the improvement is there. So in future, what will happen is that instead of this manual step which we are doing, like the developer will click on some branch and will save all. Okay, the some resources are not ready to get saved. Okay, so the let me see what's the why it doesn't want to get saved. I think it was not saved, and I did the pull request maybe because of that. So okay, to let me see. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me try to make a change then. If okay, I'll just make some changes then. So I'm back in the feature branch. Now this is my little name change. Or otherwise, I'll just create another pull request. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go back. Okay, so the branch got deleted. That's the problem because we saw the approved message. Okay, now I am okay with that. And let me just see if I can go back. And okay, please create one more. Feature one then. Okay, so now this is my copy data, and let's save it. Okay, so okay, okay. Okay. This time we will do one thing. We'll say don't delete it. Okay. In the meantime, okay, it's all done. I'll just come back. I'll publish. So what we are trying to do is, so at this step, what happens? There's a manual step. In future, what's the new plan is that there will be a build pipeline in Data Factory. So this manual publish is not required. The build pipeline will basically will test your code, will check the validity of the code, and will create the ARM template. So right now we manually clicked on it, right? That manual thing is going away in future. Now I'll go back, and if I show this to you, if I click on the repository right now, you will notice that some new templates got created. See, and I'll go to the publish, this ADF publish over here, and this is the folder where we are working right now. This is the this is a template which we have created, this one. So whatever we did got converted into this ARM template, and that's the parameter file. So what we want to do now is that when the template is getting deployed in these environments, we want the parameter to get changed over there, because the connection configurations of this source and sink will be different over there. So to do this, what I'm doing is I will simply come back, and I'm going to I'll show you a couple of things which needs to be done now. I have kept the page open in multiple tabs here. So I'll go to we are creating one variable group. We'll see what we'll do with it. Let's see if we can open the tab one more time. Let's open it here again. So we have the repository here, the variable groups here, and let's refresh this page. Come on. Okay, so that's the one. And now let's click on pipelines, release, and let's create one pipeline here. So come on. Okay. Now so this is what we'll call as maybe UAT now. And I'll just create one more. And this is production, like this. And in this production, we will give one human approval over here. So I'll give one dummy account which I use. So like this for the approval process. So you see what I have here is what I was explaining on this page, that the templates which we have published, those templates is what we want to deploy now. So they should deploy in this environment, and in that environment after the approval. Somebody will approve like that. Now the key vault secret should get injected in this point. So uh, to do that, what I'm doing is I'll just go to the key vault page. I'll see that by now the script should have executed. So we have everything ready with us. We'll just continue with what we are doing right now. We will go back and change things afterwards. So this is the key vault. Now, what I want to do is I'll go to the UAT key vault, and which is over here. And this we will create some secrets on this page soon. So before and these secrets we want to pull over there. That's what we want to do. So if I take you back, now I have to select the source, like what's the trigger, when will it run. So I'm just saying that if there is any change which happens in my in the publish branch, which I just created, this ADF publish, if anything happens over there, then you can start, the trigger will be that. Now, I'm just giving it a short name. So ADF, let's say publish. So this is just like, this will become the relative path uh, for us. We'll see it in a second. And let's add one more trigger. Okay, so where will the artifact? We'll just select the same project and the source repository, and the branch is main. Or if something happens in the main branch, then also you can do the trigger. So ADF, whatever you give here, You just have to select it later on. You can select something else also. Now I'm going to my UAT step over here, and I would like to add some steps over there. So we are running some scripts now. So Azure Powershell. I'll explain in a whiteboard as well what this does. And let's add two of them and one template deployment. So ARM template deployment. So this should be making sense now. So this is the template. You see this one is that one over there. It's the same one which we have developed and which we have pushed, which we have published over there. It's the same one. So what we want to do is we want to uh, use that same thing, put some secrets into it from the sync location. So the way it's done is basically you come to the you add this. So there is a pre and there is a post template deployment steps are there. So for example, if you're running one template, there will be some things which you need you to gather some information. So that's the pre-deployment script, and the post-deployment script will have the cleanup as well along with it. Whatever has been created by the pipeline will be cleaned up. So now to do this step, Microsoft luckily provides us all the details which are required. They have created a very nice PowerShell script which we just have to parameterize, which already parameterized. We just have to give the values there, and I kept it somewhere in my secondary screen, and I'm just looking for it right now. I'll give it in the chat window, and I have. Uh, Let me see, where have I saved that link to be shown? Okay. Otherwise, I have to go the long way around. I have to sort of go to their GitHub page and to then do it from there. Okay, I think I found it. So let me just bring the other page. Okay, great. So you see this is repository from Microsoft. I'll give this link in the chat. Now, what we are doing here is uh, there is a pre-deployment. So let me copy. Let me show you. Let me click on this. So pre and post deployment script PowerShell. There are 5 values which it wants. It wants the ARM template. Which ARM template? The same ARM template. This ARM template, which is the template in the publish branch right now. This ARM template. It needs the path of it. So we'll give the path of that ARM template. That's what it needs first. It needs the resource group name. This is a destination resource group name. This one over here, the destination. And then what it needs is the data factory name destination. So which is the UAT data factory over here. And then it needs the is it pre-deployment or do you want to delete a deployment? I don't want to delete a deployment. I just want to do a, you can see there is no cleanup required right now. This is a cleanup step. It's not going to delete my UAT environment. It's going to do a cleanup of the intermediate things which will get created. So so this is an official way of doing it. So this is I took this from, we came to this page from the Microsoft documentation only. I'm just going back to my uh, Azure repository, which is here. Now this goes in the main branch over there. So I'm coming here in this main. I can see it from here, and I'll just create one file here, and so we can make it in this location also. So Cicd dot PowerShell. Okay. Now, so this goes here. We will be using it in these steps. So let me just see. Okay, perfect. Okay. Now what we are doing is we will come back to the PowerShell to these scripts. We'll rename it. We'll say, okay, this is pre-deployment. Pre-deployment. This is post-deployment. Let's rename them. Deployment, and this is the ARM deployment over here, the ADF UAT deployment. So like that. Now the pre-deployment select subscription, our subscription. not authorize it. I have the rights right now, I can do it. So what this does, it creates a service principal. So it goes to the Active Directory, it registers the DevOps portal there. It says that Active Directory, I'm the DevOps portal, I am getting registered with you. So do give me a token later on. That's what it is doing right now. So done. And the script is that same script, which is this one over there. Now, you remember those arguments I showed you? We have to override them. You see, there's 5 of them. So this we have to override. We have to give our values there. These. So that overwriting is what I'm doing right now. So now, uh, uh, so let me just see what arguments are there. I have changed my setup, so I just want to see what all do I have to give. So I'm going to the template first. I'll copy the values which I need. Then I'll go back and I'll complete that. So the UAT is here, and everything can be parameterized. You see this location. We can push this also in the key vault. Let's put it here. I'll show you how that can be done. So I am just putting this template will be in the publish over here somewhere. It's showing 2 times. If I refresh the page, it will. I think it will get corrected, but I'll refresh it afterwards. This is my template path. So let me just open one notepad, and we are just going to construct that. We're going to use this path. So this is the template, and then the parameters are, and then there is another parameter file with the template file. This one, you see this parameters for data factory. This one. Now here, and we have to override the parameters now. So these are the ones which we have. So it is using, let's see what it is using. The connection string of the source, sync, private endpoint information, private, okay. So we will gather all this information and we will take care of it. Now, what I'll do is I will, let me just show you one more step. So there is the syntax is also given by them. Let me just copy this. So the pre and the post deployment scripts, they want us to give the override the parameters there. So this is how you give it in JSON. There is nothing special here. It's just like having the same names. So it's expecting, see, one, the template location, resource group of destination, UAT, the data factory name of UAT, and the is it a pre-deployment or post-deployment? It's a pre-deployment. It's not a post-deployment. So don't delete anything. So this is the post-deployment here. So what it will have is a different, you can say delete deployment true over there. Is it pre-deployment? No, it's after deployments. It will do a cleanup for us. So now what I'm thinking is, as my key vault is finally up, so I'm thinking of using it now. So what I'll do is I'll show you how this is done. We will construct all of this. We'll put the values in the key vault. We'll pull the values from the key vault. We'll give it here. Now, this same step has to be done for all the parameters which you have seen till this point. All the linked services, everything has to be parameterized. Everything has to go in the, and so all the secrets will be in the key vault. We don't put anything in the, we don't put anything anywhere else. So what I'm doing, you may have to do it many times. So let me show this 4 or 5 times over here. What we are trying to achieve, and rest you can invest your when you get time 3-4 hours into just repeating the same thing for everything you see. So okay, let's find the key vault. Okay, that's the one you are. Okay, so what do we need? Let me just quickly get a hang of it. Resource group name, the data factory names. Okay, great. So ADF ADF name. We'll put one parameter ADF name. We will have the ADF resource group. We'll create this. And I clicked on something. Okay, let me open again. So come on, let me copy that again then. I think I clicked on something. It sort of closed. Yes, great. So let me just paste that again. And let me just bring the things back. Okay, now path we'll find it again. Let's put that again. Let me just save this file. So, or I should have used Notepad++, but let me just save this. Okay, now you're not going anywhere. So we will give ADF name. That's one. We'll create this. So what we'll go to the key vault now, and in the key vault we'll create this ADF name, and we will create the ADF destination resource group. So I'll just call it as a resource group. We'll give the values there. And what else does it require? Data. Okay, that's all. So let's create these two. We'll come back. We'll make more. So data factory, and in the secret section, I'm giving that. And in the value, I have to copy paste it. So I'll go to my data factory. And this is the one here. This is the one. And I'm just giving it there in the section, in this section over here. So then I'm creating one more. And this time I'm giving the resource group. As such, that's the key, and the value is over here. So I have these resource group by these names, like dev is dev, UAT, and prod. So I had a different setup, but my sort of plan got changed on the way. So that's okay. So these are the two of them over here, two secrets. So what we want to do is we want to connect the key vault. We have two secrets there with the DevOps portal. And in that template, we want to use these two over there, right? That's what I want to do. So I'll go to my data, to my DevOps portal, and I will say DevOps portal. We'll go to the variable group here. There are two ways in which I can do this. One way is that I can simply add this key vault step here. You see this key vault step, this one. So it will pull the information during the runtime and will do it. In my agenda, I also have a variable group to be explained. So I'll just use the variable group. It you can say solves two of my purpose at the same time. I'll click on one variable. I'll create one variable group. I'll call it as blob to blob copy over here. And this is for UAT. And now I'm linking it with Key Vault. So when I will select my Key Vault, what it will do, it will go to the Key Vault, and you have to click on it again. Sometimes it doesn't shows up, and it keeps on throwing that red icon. So we are in the UAT right now over here, and we'll say authorize. So what this step does is it basically goes to the Key Vault, this one, it goes to the access policy, and it will add something here. And it will give it set permission. Like there is a permission called as set permission, like this one. That's what will happen. Uh, uh, the permission is written there. Let me just correct that. Which permission? So it basically shows that next time when you will click on it, it shows on the bottom of it what permission it is giving. But I think it will be either list. I think it should be list permission. May not be set permission. We can check it. So these are two lists. The ones over here. We'll say okay, and that's all. We'll save it. Now the pipelines will have permission. So there was a question on the permissions. Now there were permissions can be given on many things. I in the data factory, if you think about data factory, we have those RBAC, Azure AD RBAC. Like I gave the rights to my data factory. Similarly, users will have different rights. Uh, right now, what I'm doing over here is this is called as pipeline permission. So I'm going to this pipeline and I'm saying that who can use this UAT variables. Right for now, if I click on it, it will say that any pipeline can use it. I have to restrict it. I don't have another pipeline to restrict it, so I'll just let it be the way it is. And I will go back to my pipeline, which is here. And on this pipeline, what I'm doing is I will simply click on variables. I'll say, come on, get connected over there. So I'll say link variable group. That's the name which I gave, blob to blob copy, which is connected to my key vault. And that's all. So we'll come back. Now we'll start using them. And the script arguments, let's find that page again. This script argument page over here. So before the template deployment, after the template deployment, two scripts are there, right? And in middle, your template is there over there. So now what I have done is I think I have given the exact same name. I think so. I gave the same name over here. So I'll just copy this name and this is my data factory name. So how do you pass a variable is like this. You dollar, you just put and you put the value like this. Now remember one thing, the names are the names may be having some spaces, hyphen, underscore. Try double quotes. It doesn't throw the errors over there. So don't worry, it will not take this full value as the string. It's pretty you can say smart as such. It will just, you can say, take the value of the variables at that point. So this is the UAT data factory. That's the UAT resource group. I think so. And yeah, I think I copied that only. And the template location, I will just go and get it one more time. So template was somewhere. Let me just find the template path. So I generally get it from here. So this see, just one more thing. You can give it like this also. So you don't want to put it here like that. You can just put the variable from the variable which you have given there over here also. So if you have more variables, you can give it like that. That was resource group name. You see, like that, we pass the values. So from the variable group like that. So if you have one more for location, you can give in the location section. I don't have it right now. I'll just give it like that. So you have to do it for everything. It's just repetitive. And the path of the parameter is here. The template path is here. Let's take it back. And come on, go there. And come on, go here also. Okay. So like this. And let's see where I have this left. This one. And the other one is over here. This one goes there. So the pre and the post scripts are ready. So template goes in mid here, and the pre and the post. So it's just copy paste now. If I have done any mistake, I'll just come when it doesn't run, we'll come back and troubleshoot. Right? That's better. We're just reaching end of time. So I will just come on this pre. I'll put it here. I'll just see if it fills up fine. Okay, and I'll just copy the next one, and I'll just put it there in the post, okay, which is not complete. So we'll complete it. And the script path is the same script path, the PowerShell script, which is here, which will clean up my resources, any intermediate resources which are getting deployed by this DevOps portal. So all of that thing will get cleaned up. And then the PowerShell version, I'll keep it as latest. I don't have any version right now. And the template which I want to deploy is over here. But now in this template also, we have values which will get overwritten. So the blob connection strings are there. So if you have noticed this, the factory name, this we can simply remove. And we can put that factory name from that. We can get this name like this. And connection strings I have not copied yet. Neither have I created a secret out of it. So I have to go and find them. So, and I don't even have a sync. So what we have done is, if you are following me, this we have this ready with us over here. And then what we are doing is, so we'll make one storage account over there. This is the sync storage account, and in this sync storage account, we'll create this and we'll copy the connection string. So we'll use this for the UAT purpose. There are many previous sessions which we have done on the where we get started. So today's topic is DevOps. So that's why it's slightly more on the configuration side. But I hope you guys are able to sort of get it. And if you go to the page on YouTube, you will find many more other videos as well. So I'm just creating my strg sync over here. I'll give it some name so I can recall it with that. And I will just click on create. Okay, in the meantime, this is coming up. What I'm doing is I'll go to the to Azure. Let me pull this there, and I'm going to my. I have to copy the connection strings now. I don't have them, so I'll go to storage accounts. I'll click on this UAT, and I'll say, "Come on, access keys," and let's find the connection string from there. So that's the one. Let's put it in the notepad first. So this is the UAT source storage account connection string, and that's the value. Similarly, we will be creating the other one also, the UAT sync storage account connection string. Uh, as such, storage connection string. Let's take this. So this is for the sync over here. So in the meantime, I'm just filling this up. It's getting created right now. So here, ready. Let's go. Container. It doesn't have any container. So sync container. And I'm just copying the access keys, show keys, copy these keys. Now let's put it in the notepad. So the process remains same, right? What I have to do is, oh sorry, it didn't got copied. So the process remains same. What I have to do is I have to go to the key vault. I have to add both of them in the key vault. I have to go back to my variable group. I have to add that one more, two more secrets in the in the variable group, and then I have to use that name the way I have shown you in this way in my configuration like that, right? That's how you pass the variables. So what I'm doing right now is that same thing you have seen 3-4 times now. I'll just complete this so I can take some questions now. Uh, I'll just move ahead. I'll find where is that this, and I'm just for now I'm just manually pushing it there like this, the source and the sync. But I hope you got the point how it has to be done. So sorry, it's a repeat opposite of it. So this is the sync. It's the first one. It says in the name. That's uh, the source now. It's just a name. So it's written here, source connection string and the sync. Luckily, we named it properly. So at least we come to know that it's there. Okay, done. So this is your steps done. Done. Rename it ADF release, and let's try it once. So what we'll try to do is there might be some because there's so many configurations, so many ticks were there. So what I'll do, I'll run it first. If it fails somewhere, I'll change that, right? So how do you do that? Is basically create a release and run it over here, and let's go to it. And we are manually, you can say, deploying it. So because some authorization may need to be given, some string need to be copied from somewhere, and so on and so forth. So when this finish running, the way it should look like is over here. So in the meantime, I'll take your questions, but if you want to see how it shows is like this. So like that, it just basically finish running, and it's waiting for some deployment, but that will take another some time to configure the production as well. So this is how it looks like in the end of it, and everything deploys. So now, if I quickly recap what we have done, and now what are the next steps on top of it, right? Which I'll just give you the links of. So this is one step here. It should not be if it's manual right now. Can we have an improvement? Yeah, the link is in the chat window, the one which I shared earlier. This is automated now. Every other no secrets in the pipelines. Put them in the key vault. Repeat the step as many times as required. One thing which we have not done is we have not used any parameters in the data factory right now. What we did is all these variables we used were in the DevOps portal, dev.azure.com. So that is another thing, maybe for another day. That how do you go to data factory and how do you parameterize data factory, like which is not related to DevOps, like normal data factory parameters, which were in the agenda. And how do you do that? Like you basically the table name should be one parameter, then and I'll show you the places where it's done. So you basically see this in the manage section. We have these global parameters like that. So the importance of global parameter is in case all of your pipelines, if they have they want to share some same information. maybe environment name, all are dev pipelines, all are UAT pipelines, all are prod pipelines. Or if there is some common configuration which has to be shared among all of them, then global parameters we use them. Now this is one. Second, we have the pipeline parameters. If you click on the background, right, you see these pipelines. So we create these values here, and then we use it in further configuration. So it's nice. What happens? The global parameters can become the input of these pipeline parameters. Then it becomes the input of the other transformations which we have in the data factory, where you can say ETL as well on top of it. So they get injected into each other. So by the end of it, when you run it, the so I'm just randomly adding something here. So now, so when you run it, you do not the amount of so what you have to do is you basically have to a lot of times you just have to give the values of the global parameter in your DevOps pipeline, and you just have to change the value of some of the pipeline parameters in the DevOps pipeline. Rest becomes very generic, which is very good. It's not specific to one pipeline. It's like the parameters are generic as such. So this is that part, and I'll just go to the questions now. Okay, so check this. So where is the recording going? LinkedIn, sorry, YouTube link. I think already a few of you pasted that. Now, second thing is, I'll show you two locations. We do reactor sessions as well, guys. So do one thing. I'll give you two links. Definitely, I'll give you some specific link on my channel on Tech Scalable, where uh, where we have done this before. Some basics maybe. Otherwise, I'll give you the other session links which I do. So you can go and see some of the interesting basics over there. So let me just go to my secondary page and see if there is something uh, over there. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So let me share something. I think on the company page, I only have some crazy videos of some configuration. But if I come to the reactor sessions which we do, we have pretty interesting sessions here as well, which maybe I have done or maybe Jigar, another colleague of mine, has done. Perfect over here. See, so this is Jigar, one of my colleague, and I'll just give you his video over here. This is another session which he has done, and I think in this session they have covered the basics of the data factory over there, right? And you can come to this reactor sessions, and you can find way more. You can say step by step planned sessions there. Okay, now let's go to the next question. So the Erm template created will the code to deploy private endpoint as well as UAT on prod? Okay, a very nice question. So what will happen? Venkat, no. What will happen? Something you may have to go back, and that manual thing we have not done it. Meaning, when it will look for the private endpoint information, but you have to give the rights. So you have to come and you have to give the rights the way we have done it. You have to come to the access control and uh, give the data factory of UAT rights over there so it can read write those things. It has not done yet. Uh, they can be added, but it's your infrastructure. As part of the infrastructure, it will be added, and then we can pass the some values. Uh, and the private endpoint, it's not configured. It will create, but it will look for the value. So I really have to click on the you can say networking, and I have to approve it. All those things needs to be done. So no, some things needs to be done. It will show here in some time, and we'll approve it over there. Okay, so let me scroll up. Uh, how can you create a pipeline for two backend systems with separate databases? in the sense, what do you want? Like pipeline inside pipeline, or what comes to mind? Like you're moving from one database to another database, or how does it work? So to complete that question, Mukesh, if you are still there, what do you mean by that? So sorry, we don't have the mic access today. We'll see. We'll enable that next time. But we sort of got created this. Okay. Okay. I don't see any other question over there. And if there is anyone who has a question, feel free to ask. Okay, so what I'll do one thing, I also have a document with me. Those who are there, I'll give this document I'll give you the link in a second. And if you're interested, I made this document for a company a few years back, but most of the screenshots still matches. Maybe there is some screenshot maybe looking slightly different. So whatever I explained is there also. So in future, when you have to do this, you can look at the screenshot. Apart from the video, do check out the video. I'm just pushing this. I'll share this link in the chat. Uh, Maybe I'll just create one. I'll give it to you, those who are online right now, and for others, I'll just push that in the GitHub page and on the GitHub account, and I'll give you that just below the YouTube link. I'll put it there. But for those who are right now here, I'll just give you this in the chat. So click on it, and that's the entire setup. And if there is, because this document is slightly older, if there is any screenshot which has changed, then you may just have to check out my uh, recording one more time. This one, which we are doing right now. Okay, let me just test it out once before sharing, because I'm not sure how much private access I have given. Okay, perfect. Looks like it loads. So this is in the chat, guys. You can click on it, it will download. Okay, how do we make automatic pipelines for individual services? For example, if we have 5 services, not all will have changes every day. If I need to deploy specific deployment, should I keep the other stuff as is? So let me just read the question again. Automatic dip. Okay, yeah, I guess what you're asking for is over here. So I'll open the link which I gave earlier, and do let me know if that is what you're asking about. I'll just scroll up in the chat. Okay, check this. So this is a manual step which we have done. So since many years, this is the only thing which was there. Recently, some time back, maybe 4 or 6 months back, someone can correct me on that time. What they have done, this manual publish, remember we clicked on the publish. This has been automated over there. So this is the automated deployment, and the way it has been done is, I'll just explain the way here, is that there is a build pipeline which you have to create. So we created one release pipeline. Apart from that, there is another build pipeline which is required. So what that build pipeline will do, that build pipeline will get automatically triggered, and the output will be the ARM template. So there is humanly, you don't have to click on the publish to create the ARM template, which is this template. The build pipeline will do it for you. That's the change which has happened, and that pipeline needs to be configured. And there are some limitations in that right now. So if you check out this page in the chat, you'll be able to. What we showed, do that first, then you can make the change. The change will be in one step in the middle over there. Okay, so think about it. And okay, also guys, hopefully you have connected with me. You're connected with me on LinkedIn, or maybe not. I'll just give this. This is my LinkedIn page. If you have any follow-up questions on what we have discussed and or something else, feel free to reach out to me. You can just drop me a message. I will, if I'm stuck somewhere, I'll respond in some time. Generally, I may be able to respond quicker as well, right? So if you don't have any questions, we'll wind up. And so thanks for joining in. And recording will be on YouTube. So have a nice day. Have a nice weekend or whatever is left of the weekend. You are here with me on a weekend. That's amazing. And I'll see you in the next sessions as such. Stay in touch for the upcoming webinars as such. Thanks, everyone. There is a question which says that difference between big data engineer and Azure data engineer. Okay, big data engineer versus Azure data engineer. Okay, so for to answer that, I will take the help of Microsoft's, you can say, uh, you can say explanation of that. Now, as per Azure data engineer, you are supposed to do all this. For example, design, implement storage, data processing, design, implement data security, and modernize and monitor the data storage and data processing. Everything needs to be done by the data engineer. One thing which you will notice is that when you go to the Azure, we have services in Azure like Azure Databricks. So opens the Databricks Spark from Databricks, but on Azure. So like that. And we have Synapse Spark. So the big data engineer will be able to translate into an Azure data engineer with some efforts. If you are used to creating pipelines with Apache UZ, now you will be creating with Data Factory. Or if you do it with SSIS, then you can easily do it with Data Factory, even easier. Or with Synapse service. So I'll click on the I'll give you this link in the chat. Do read the description of the, you can say, the generic job profile. This is not specific. There might be some specific job profile based on some company as well, but this is the one. It goes in the chat. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so thanks, everyone. Have a nice day, and I'll find you in the next session. Or if you have questions, you do ping me on uh, LinkedIn.